So let's start lying down on your back. As always, just making sure that you feel comfortable here. As we begin, so that may be with your knees bent, feet on the mat, feet a little bit away from the hips and knees resting against each other. Can feel really nice for your lower back. Or you could have your legs extended, feet flopping out to the sides, everything relaxing. So just see how you feel. See what feels good for your back, for your legs, for your hips, for your everything in general. And same with your arms. You can have them out wide, palms facing up, or hands resting gently over your belly. Whatever feels nicer for you. One might feel more grounding than the other. See if you can start to let your body melt into the ground, melt into the earth beneath you. Starting to bring your awareness to the support beneath you as you allow yourself to arrive here this morning. Let yourself scan through your body, just noticing how it is you do feel. Noticing how your body feels here this morning. Noticing your general mood or energy. It can be anything that it is. The thing with yoga is we don't need to be in a certain state before we arrive, before we turn up for ourselves. We don't already have to be feeling all zen and relaxed. Yoga is there to help us breathe and move into any of what we're feeling, not just the things that feel comfortable or nice. So scan through your body from your head, just softening your skin over your scalp, your face, your neck, your shoulders, arms, torso, hips, legs and feet. Just softening that outer layer. Just scanning through your body, doing the same thing, softening that outer layer, your skin, over your head, your shoulders, arms, torso, hips, legs and feet. One more with your breath, so breathing in, and as you exhale, scan through your body, softening everything front and back, side to side, letting it all relax a little here. And start to notice the different sensations in your body. You might notice the sensation of touch, so the connection point of your body and the floor, the pressure of where your body's connecting to the floor. Or the air or your clothes touching your skin. might notice sensations like circulation, any tummy noises or feelings. Notice maybe a pressure or a sense of space or something else just behind that space between your eyebrows. Notice that sensation, the pressure or space or anything else just underneath the crown of your head. This can be our tension spots throughout the day. Just starting to notice the sensation of your breath in your body here, without trying to change it. Just notice where your body moves naturally as you breathe. Noticing the air on the tips of your nostrils, a little cool on the way in, slightly warmer on the way out. Notice the natural length of your breath, if one side of your breath is shorter or longer than the other. Notice the natural pace of your breath. Is it quite quick and rushed, like it's running a race against itself, or is it quite slow and relaxed? And start to deepen your breath in, inviting it down towards your abdomen. So you're breathing into the bottom of the lungs that press the diaphragm down and gently move the belly forward out of the way. So this can be as gradual of a belly moving as you need it to be. It doesn't need to all be hard and fast, all 100% all at once. Getting this gradual sense of filling up just a little bit deeper than your natural breath, but not to the point of force or exertion. More introducing this breath to your body, letting your breath gently explore. Start to lengthen your exhale so that it matches the length of your inhale, finding your equal breath. And same thing, no force or exertion needed. Just this whole breath is a little bit longer than your natural breath. Maybe noticing that natural pause at the end of your exhale. It's only momentary. It's just this natural bridge between breaths. A little bit like that moment just before sunrise where you're sitting there waiting for the sun to peek out over the horizon. It's that moment of suspension just before it does. This in between. So take a few more slow, steady breaths just as you are. And then let go of the control of your breath. Let your natural breath return. Not trying to force it to do anything, just letting it be. Notice what that feels like. Notice any sense of ease or effortlessness in that breath. And when you feel ready to, you can find an intention for your practice here this morning if you like. It could be just a word or a short phrase stated in the present moment, a quality you'd like to embody or cultivate more of, a way you'd like to share or express yourself. Feel complete in that, and start to bring gentle movement excuse me, back into your body. You can wiggle your toes, your fingers, maybe draw circles through your wrists and ankles a few times in each direction. You could take a big stretch out with your body, extend your legs, arms stretch up towards the wall behind you, a sigh or yawn if you need it. And then bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a big hug. Maybe a little rock side to side or drawing circles a few times in each direction. Maybe stillness feels good, so your knees don't have to be together. They can be a little wider if that feels better for you. Just take another breath or two here. And then let your left foot come down to the mat. Squeeze your right knee in towards your right armpit. So you're giving yourself this big hug, this big squeeze. And while you're there, draw more circles through the ankle, going a few times each direction, pointing and flexing the foot. So you're warming up the joints, which is especially important in cooler weather or in windy weather, or especially when you have both at the moment. Just taking care of your joints here. And then let your right hand come to your right knee and start to draw slow circles, these big circles with the knee. So you're massaging into that right hip joint. The hand is just guiding, so it might come a little bit away from the knee as the knee comes away from you, and then drawing it in and around. So just going slowly here, going in the opposite direction. Warming up the synovial fluid in your hip joint that lubricates the joint, keeps it safe, keeps it moving easily. And then one last squeeze of that knee in towards your armpit. And you swap over, so the right foot comes down, left knee comes in towards the left armpit. Give yourself that big hug, and while you're there, draw circles through the left ankle. Getting all out those clicks and cracks, going a few times in each direction. Pointing and flexing the foot. And let your left hand be on your left knee, drawing those big circles. Massaging really gently into that hip joint. So notice we're not adding pressure or weight into the hip joint as we warm it up. And going in the opposite direction, we're just allowing it this gentle movement. It just encourages that warmth, that synovial fluid to move a little more fluidly. And then draw your knee in towards that armpit again. And let the foot come down. So from here, roll onto one side and stay on your side. So you're just rolling onto one side. Let's say it's the left side, and just shuffle the hips a little bit further back. You're extending your left arm out in front of you, and the right arm, that top arm, is just resting on top of that hand. So from here, the hips are a little bit further behind you because we're coming into a flowing, twisting motion. So as you breathe in, that top hand's tracing along the inside edge of the bottom arm, maybe across the front of your chest, and then out to the right. So you're opening up, and then as you exhale, it's tracing back along the same line, back to being on your side. So moving with your breath as you inhale, open up. If you've got the space, the arm will come out directly out. Otherwise, you might just go cactus arms. And as you exhale, coming back onto your side. So it's this slow movement, keeping that connection between your fingers and your body, just to allow for that opening from the inside out, rather than just trying to almost shove your body into a position or a twist. Let's go a couple more times with your breath. And this next time that you've opened into your twist, holding there, maybe shifting your left shoulder blade across the left a little to help ground that right shoulder blade. You can choose whichever direction you want your head to turn to look in. Just breathing through the twist down towards your abdomen. Getting this nice softness across the fronts of your shoulders, the front of your chest. Take 2 more slow, steady breaths there. Really let the breath complete itself. On your next exhale, take that right arm, bring it back across so you're lying on your side, and then you move your whole body to roll over to the other side. So rolling onto your right side, and maybe shift your hips back a little. The knees are bent sort of at a right angle to your body. So the left arm's extended out, the right arm's extended out, and the left hand's resting on the palm. Again, it depends on the space that you have. If you need to have a little bend in the elbows, you can still do that. So from here, we're moving again, but it's that left hand tracing along the inner right arm across the front of your chest and then out. And then moving as you breathe back onto your side. So as you inhale, you're opening up. And as you exhale, you're coming back on your side. So again, take your time with this. Maybe even close your eyes. It's a little bit of a moving meditation. Let's go twice more like that. The last one, as you open up, we hold there, maybe shifting that right shoulder blade across to the right a little to help ground your left shoulder blade, choosing whichever direction you want to turn your head to look in. Whatever feels good for your neck, it can stay neutral. And just breathing here, letting your upper body relax. Maybe even letting your eyes soften or close here. Maybe even noticing any difference in where you feel this in your body, whether it's as a stretch, as an opening, as a challenge, as something else. Notice any differences of where you feel this in your body compared to the first side. Taking one more breath here, all the way in, all the way out. Take your left arm, bring it back across your body so you're rolling onto your side, and then help yourself up. We'll find child's pose. So you're drawing your hips back towards your heels. Knees can be together or wide, whatever feels good. Usually it'll be your hip joints that speak up about that one. And peel your way down so you're having your arms gently extended out in front of you. If you can, your forehead's relaxing down. Try to keep your shoulders and elbows soft so you don't need to stretch the arms so much that you bunch up around the shoulders. Everything's soft still. Let your belly soften. Maybe even the muscles in your face can soften. And from here, walk your hands off to the right side of the mat. So you're coming into your side bending child's. Your right hand will come beside the knee. The left arm stretches away from you towards that right diagonal corner. Your hips might even move a little towards that left heel, very subtly, just to create as much length and space as you can along the left side of your body. Try to keep your shoulders and your armpits at the same level as each other. Slowing your breath down here. Take a few slow, steady breaths like this. Just noticing how you feel. Taking a snapshot of how you feel on this side, where you feel it, the intensity. One more breath in. As you exhale, come through center, and just take a breath in neutral in the middle. Then walk your hands over to the left side of the mat. Find your side bending child's on the other side. So your left hand will go beside the left knee. You might shuffle your hips a little over towards that right heel as the right arm stretches away. So you're creating this arc through your body. So you can relax your head, neck, shoulders, face. You might feel it differently on this side of the body than you did on the first. You hold tension differently on in different areas on different sides of our bodies. And just notice, in comparison to that snapshot that you took on the first side, just notice how you feel on this side. And where you feel it, whether it feels more or less intense. So what we'll be doing is holding for longer on the side that you feel like you need it more on. So the more intense it is, the more likely you feel you need it, the more likely you will need it as far as a stretch or opening, just to bring real balance. So if that's this side, please feel free to stay here. If it was the first side, you can slowly move your way back over to the first side. If it's about same, you can either pick a side or you might just come back into the middle for these 5 or so breaths. So letting everything soften. One more breath in, and if you're in a side bend, exhale, come back through to the middle. Take a breath or two here in child's. And help yourself up onto hands and knees here. So your knees are underneath your hips, wrists are underneath your shoulders. Or if your wrist feels sensitive, you might come onto your fists with the fingers curling facing towards each other. That can just ease out of the wrist a little. Or you might just come maybe half or full handprint forward. Nothing too far forward at this stage, just enough to ease that flexion so it's not so flexed through the wrists. It just creates a little bit more of a diagonal line from your hand to your forearm. And from here, we're finding our cat-cows. So as you breathe in, you're lowering your belly, so you're tilting your pelvis forward, lowering your belly but lengthening it, so you're drawing your chest forward, broadening the collarbones, shoulders broad away from the ears. And as you exhale, press into your hands, scoop through your belly, tucking your pelvis, look back to your belly button. Moving with your breath as you inhale, lower and lengthen. As you exhale, curling under. So with each inhale, your shoulder blades are drawing in and down the spine. So it's an active lengthening of the spine. And with each exhale, they're separating, creating space between. So we're nourishing the discs of the spine, letting them kind of be squeezed out and soaked up like sponges. They can soak up that nourishment that keeps them supple, that keeps them working. So you might explore a little bit of the different spots that you feel this opening in, particularly on that exhale. Maybe leaning back a little into it. Take one more like that. And then find a neutral spine. So with this neutral spine, we don't want to dip into the arch of the lower back or curve. We just want to fill in the kidney area and draw up a little bit through the lower belly, just so it's steady there. And from here, extending your right leg out behind you. So you're pressing back through the heel. You can look back to your heel, make sure it's in line with the hip, both vertically and horizontally. You want it really in line. And the foot, kneecap and hip are facing down rather than it opening up to the side. It's really in line, everything's engaging, especially the glutes here. Taking a breath in, and as you exhale, scoop through the belly, bring your knee towards your nose, so you're pressing into your hands. Breathe in with that control through your lower belly, extend the right heel out. Exhale, curling under. So 3 more times. You can do it with just the leg, or if you want a little bit of extra challenge, totally up to you. You can extend your left arm out, so the opposite leg to hand. And then as you exhale, it'll be the elbow and knee, maybe drawing towards each other or crossing paths. It's up to you whether you choose that option. Just working with the different hemispheres of your brain. Once more. So as you breathe in, you'll extend out. Let that hand come down if it was extended again. Take another breath in. As you exhale, bend the knees, scoop through your belly, help your foot all the way to the top of the mat. Walk it forward if you need to, just so that your heel is grounded. And you're either framing that front foot, but if you feel like you need a bit more space or this just doesn't feel comfortable for you, you can bring your hands on the inside of the front foot. Just try to keep everything still tracking forward rather than having that veer your torso off to the side. So from here, take a breath, broaden the collarbones, draw forward. So you're lengthening through the spine again. And instead of feeling like you're dropping the hips down, get this sense of them drawing forward as well. As you exhale, peel that front foot back towards you, lengthen that front leg, maybe walk your hands. So you're opening up through the back of that front leg now. Moving again with the breath. Breathe in, come forward to your lunge. Open up through the chest and let your back of the neck stay long. So you're kind of looking forward instead of just staying looking down this whole time. It's just opening up. And as you exhale, you can fold and relax. Let's go 3 more breaths like that. You can practice your audible breathing, that sound of breathing onto a piece of glass or mirror to fog it up, but your mouth is closed. So it's the same constriction in the back of your throat. A really useful focus tool. And once you've exhaled again, we're holding here so you can walk your hands a little closer for support. You're not aiming really to get the hips back to the heel necessarily. You're just aiming to find a softness in the back line of the body so you can feel the stretch into the belly of the hamstring by unlocking the knee a little. Relax your head and neck, soften your shoulders. Take a few breaths here. One more complete breath, all the way in, all the way out. Inhale, come forward, find your lunge. We're staying in the lunge for another moment, so press into that front heel. The whole foot's grounded, but it's really pressing into the front heel, drawing that, feeling like you're trying to draw the heel back towards you, so it squares your hips, switches on your stabilizers. From here, breathe in, sweeping up, lift your torso and have this slight tuck through the pelvis so you're not jamming into the arch of the lower back. Got this tuck, breathe in, and then catch your hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers. So here again, instead of just sinking into the hip joints, because your hips don't like it, your lower back definitely doesn't like it, keep drawing that heel back towards you. You might feel the glutes engage on that back leg as you breathe in, let your hands draw down towards the mat as you lift up through the ribs and sternum. So it's not jamming into the lower back to get the length, it's lifting through the ribs. Again, let the back of your neck be long. You don't need to jam back into it. You can just keep yourself looking forward, especially not down. Take one more breath here. Just opening up through the front of your chest, through the front of your shoulders. As you exhale, frame that front foot. Step that front foot back. You might come into child's pose or a little swaying child's pose or a little rock or sway side to side on hands and knees, whatever feels good for you. And then when you're ready, finding hands and knees again, this time it'll be your left leg extending out behind you, pressing back with the heel. The toes, kneecap and hip are all facing down. Just check that the heel's in line with the hip. Take a breath in, get length. And as you exhale, scoop through the belly, knee towards nose. Pressing into your hands. So So as you breathe in and get length, you're engaging through your lower belly just so you don't dip into the arch of the lower back. As you exhale, curling. 3 more times you can stick with just the leg, or if you like, it'll be your right arm extending. So opposite leg to arm, and exhale, knee and elbow come towards each other. Moving with your breath. On your next breath in, lengthen, bring the hand down. Take another breath in here. And as you exhale, bend the knees, scoop through the belly, and this time bring the foot all the way to the top of the mat. Walk it forward if you need to. You just want that front heel grounded. And you still want that bit of diagonal length in that back leg so you're getting this stretch in your lunge. Same thing with the hands. They can be framing or on the inside. And from here, drawing forward, broaden the collarbones, so looking forward. As you exhale, peel that front foot back, lengthening the front leg, folding down. You can look down there. Breathing in, come forward. And exhale, peel back. Moving with your breath. Slow, steady breaths. Let's go 2 more like that. Just easing into the hips on this last exhale, holding there. So you can walk your hands with you so you have support. The front foot and kneecap are facing up. So they're not twisting out to the side, they're still facing up. There's a slight bend. You might even feel like you're trying to gently draw that front heel back towards you. It doesn't actually move, but it will just square your hips off here. Our hips generally want to go in the same directions that our legs want to go, so they tend to skew off to the side. So we can just square them off so we actually get into the area. Breathing here instead of forcing into the stretch, just focusing on this softness in the back body, maybe feeling like you're breathing into the back of the ribs. Take 1 more breath here. And then come forward, find your lunge again, plant that front foot, whole foot's grounded, but really press into the heel, try to draw it back, and breathe in, sweeping up, arms reach up as the torso lifts, slight tuck through the pelvis, and then catch your hands behind your back, but go the opposite interlace. So it'll feel really weird, but we're just building new neural pathways for your body and your brain. Engage the glutes on that back leg a little to help support as you breathe in, hands draw down, chest and sternum lift. So you're rolling the shoulders open, shoulder blades draw in and down the spine. Just keep the long through the back of the neck. Don't feel like you need to look down or up even, it's just neutral. Taking a few breaths here. One more breath in. As you exhale, release your hands, frame that front foot, step that leg back, find your whatever feels good for you, a child's or a swaying child's or a little rock on hands and knees. Whatever feels nice. Take a few breaths just like this. Then swing your legs around, sitting on your bottom. Let's extend your right leg out to the side. So your hips and shoulders and chest are all facing forward still. That right leg's just out to the side, not so far out that the foot and knee have to drop in, but not so far forward that it's extended in front of you. So it's just out to that comfortable spot to the side. The foot and knee are facing up. You might gently flex that extended foot back towards you. And again, bring your hands sort of just to the ground, that right hand on the inside of the right leg in particular. Just the finger pads to help encourage a gentle lengthening. So you're not having to lift yourself up at all. It's just encouraging this length through your spine. Keeping your chest, shoulders facing forward. Take that length with you as you walk that right hand along the inner edge of your leg, lengthening it out, leaning over with the torso as you do so. So let that elbow on the right arm be a little bent here. You don't need to stretch it and bunch up around the shoulders. It's just a guide, and the more you bend it, the more you might be able to press the back of the arm somewhere against the inner leg to help draw that bottom side of the ribs through so the chest stays open a little easier. You can keep that top arm, that left arm relaxed if that feels enough for you here, or I recommend you can extend it over. I recommend sweeping it forward and then opening. It's just a bit better for the shoulder, generally speaking. Reaching that arm in the same direction as the foot, but keeping open through the chest. So if that top shoulder starts to drop, open it up again. Or you can cup the back of your head with that top arm or top hand if that feels a bit better for the shoulder. So you get a little bit more of a stretch through the side body, through the quadratus lumborum, that short, thick muscle on each side of the lower back. You might even close your eyes so you can just soften into the sensation of this without worrying so much about the depth. And just slow your breath down. Let yourself be with your breath. Taking another couple of slow, steady breaths. Try not to cut the exhale short. Take one more breath in. As you exhale, that top hand comes down first. Keep your head heavy. The muscle will relax or release as you come out of the pose. So breathe in slowly, stack your spine. Head lifts last. Exhale out of the top. Maybe give yourself a little bit of a wiggle, and then you can come over to the second side. So you extend your left leg out to the side. The foot's gently flexed back towards you, so the kneecap and foot are facing up. Your hips and torso, chest, shoulders are all facing forward still. Hands come down just to give that nice encouragement of length. That left hand's on the inside of the front leg. And from here, take that length with you as that hand creeps its way along, leaning over. Again, keeping soft through that bottom elbow and shoulder. So you're not trying to bunch anything up just to get reach. It's not so much about touching the foot at all. If you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. So find that first point and then check in there if that's enough for you, or if you want to, with that right arm, extend it over in the same direction as the leg, still keeping open through the chest, or you can cup the back of your head with that top hand. Slow your breath down here. Get this sense of uncoiling tension with each exhale. Take a few more slow, steady breaths, exactly as you are. Take another breath in. On your next exhale, bring that top hand down. Breathing in, slowly stacking the spine. Head lifts last. Inhale, lifting. And exhale at the top. Cool. Give yourself a little bit of a wiggle. Gather your legs in, come to lie back down on your back. Have your knees bent, feet on the mat. Once again. This time, take your right ankle, cross it over the top of the left thigh. The arms come out to the side, either in a T shape or a cactus arms position. And from here, so you're in that figure 4 shape with your legs, flex that top foot back towards the knee. Start to lower the legs down towards the left. It doesn't matter if that top foot doesn't reach the ground. You're keeping grounded through your shoulder blades. Let's come into this variation of a twist that gives you a little bit of a stretch around the hip or the leg area. Take a few breaths here. One more breath. As you inhale, help yourself up with the legs. Release the feet. Take a breath in neutral in the middle. And take your left ankle, cross it over the top of the right thigh. Flex that top foot back. And then from here, start to lower down towards the right, keeping grounded through both shoulder blades. Coming into this variation of your twist on this side. It may feel a little different than it did on the first. That is totally normal. Make sure you're still breathing steadily. One more complete breath here. Gently lift your legs up, bringing your feet back down. Take a breath in neutral. And then setting yourself up for Shavasana, for your final relaxation. So you might place some layers on if it's cool where you are, keeping your feet warm, toes warm, maybe a jumper or a blanket. The body temperature naturally lowers here in relaxation. And then getting yourself comfortable, so you can, same options at the beginning, have the knees bent, resting against each other, or legs extended, feet flopping out to the sides. Making sure you're comfortable. I'll sit up to take you through your relaxation, but I'll cue you verbally when it's time to come out, so you don't need to worry. You can just let yourself rest here. Letting everything just start to settle in this resting space that we have at the end of our practice. Is almost the most important part. In the origins of yoga, the idea of yoga was to the physical practice of yoga, which is only one of the 8 limbs of yoga, was to remove the distractions of the body so that you could come to stillness. So while we look at it from a hugely beneficial perspective of opening up these areas of the body, this practice of stillness at the end is what lets it all come together, what lets it all find its new place, undoing old programs, unlearning old things in our bodies so that we can eventually get up off the mat and move into our day with things that are in a little bit more of a useful place for us. So let yourself rest here. Maybe taking a deep breath in through your nose. A long exhale out of your mouth. Just letting yourself settle. Whatever variation of settling is for you, whatever version of settling that is for you. We are humans, so it's natural that we won't always be completely still or quiet in our minds or in our bodies. But it's still inviting that space. It's still allowing ourselves to be in that version, no matter what level we might call that version. Let your body rest heavy. Notice the parts of the back of the body that are heavy and grounded. That awareness of the heavy of being supported to soften through the rest of you, whether it's through your body or through your mind. Just letting yourself be for just a few moments without effort, just with your breath. Sometimes it can feel really challenging, more challenging than anything else, to allow ourselves to do nothing and rest. But know that you're doing so much for yourself just by allowing the nothingness. There is power in that. There is productivity, if you like, in that. And staying where you are for the moment in this relaxed position, but just deepening your breath, getting the sense of filling up again, of emptying out again. Maybe just noticing what it feels like to exist exactly as you are in this moment. You might like to find a new or revised intention that you can take with you into your day ahead. Something as a reminder, whatever feels most useful for you. When you feel complete in that, start to gently bring movement back into your body. You can wiggle your toes, your fingers, maybe rock your head gently side to side if that feels good for your neck. You can stretch your arms up above your head, point your feet and legs in a big stretch for the front of your body. A sigh or yawn if you need it. It's always welcome. It's just an expression of you in this moment. And bring your knees into your chest, give yourself a big hug. Maybe a little rock side to side or drawing circles again, massaging your back into the earth. Rolling onto one side. And gently peeling your way up, finding a comfortable seat. Let your eyes stay closed or lowered for a moment longer. Letting your breath find itself in this new upright position. Letting everything settle. I always feel like it's a little bit like grains of sand, finding their place, a more useful place. When you're ready, bring your hands together at your heart if you like. Let your thumbs rest against your sternum, shoulders and elbows relaxed. Pausing for a moment in gratitude of yourself for taking the time out of your day to fill up your cup. We can't give from an empty cup. Gratitude for the space you've created, maybe with other people, the space, the welcoming, the compassion. Gratitude for your practice of yoga. May it serve you on and off the mat. Namaste.